Hey everybody, it's Peter from Brantford Kia, and I'm here again with our 2018 Kia Stinger, and this video we're going to talk about the tech in this car. Now there's a lot of things we're going to leave out. The standard things that come in a lot of cars, things you would expect to see in a car that costs this much money or in this class of cars. So if I don't mention it, that doesn't mean that it doesn't have it. It probably means it does have it. It's just not worth mentioning because it's redundant. Most cars in this class would have it. So let's talk about a number of things. I've got my cheat sheet with me today because there's too many things for me to just remember off the top of my head. First of all, one of the YouTube commenters asked about remote start when they saw the key fob. They said they didn't see a button for the remote start. Great question. So this car is our second car with UVO Intelligence. UVO Intelligence is a smartphone app, and you can do a lot of things right from your smartphone. So let's talk about that. With the UVO Intelligence app, it gives you things like you can lock or unlock the car, you can sound the horn, you can flash the lights, you can locate the car. So anywhere in the world, you can go on your smartphone, find out where your car is. But the big thing is you can also start your car right from your smartphone. So it doesn't have to be in a certain range. If you're walking through the mall and you're going to be out in the car in a few minutes, you can start it from right in the middle of the mall. You can start it at home, you can start it at work, anywhere you are, you don't need to be within range, you can start it up. Now, why does that matter and why should you use your cell phone to do that? Well, there's a lot of ways you can customize what happens when you start the car, and that's where this system really starts being impressive. You can customize how long you want the vehicle to run. You can set the temperature on the automatic climate control. So on a summer day, you can turn the air conditioning on a cool wintry day or a day like today where it's starting to get cooler. You can heat the car up and set it to whatever temperature you want to set it to. You can turn on the windshield and rear defrosters. So you can defrost your windows, take some of that frost off there. Works really well. Other things, your heated seats and your heated steering wheel can also be turned on from that app. So now when you think about it, instead of just starting your car, you can set the temperature. Maybe it's a different temperature in the morning when you're starting the car than it was at night when you came home. You can set those temperatures right from your smartphone. And again, things like heated steering wheel, you'll never go back once you have one. Just about every Kia is available with one now, from the real right on up. And of course, heated seats, you can turn them on right from the app as well. So the UVO Intelligence does a number of things. It gives you enhanced roadside assistance, but that app and that system of things is incredible. Works really well, and it's an app on this car. And of course, as with any app on your cell phone, that app can receive updates just like every other app, which means that we can add features as the car ages. So if the car is 3 years old, you can get those new features that have just been released because we've updated the app. So a great feature there. Speaking of cell phones, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Of course, that's standard in this car. The other thing I really like, I'll show you right here, a really cool place to put your cell phone. So you can drop your cell phone right in this tray. It stays secure as you're driving, maybe if you're driving sort of athletically, shall we call it. But also, that's wireless charging in this little tray. So that tray that has that cool little door right on top of it, you can hide your cell phone in there, works really well to charge your cell phone if you've got wireless charging, or if a future cell phone will have wireless charging. And also you can connect all of the cord and everything hidden away when you use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. So all of those features available in this car. Moving on, we're looking at the headlights, the front of the car. Now we've shown you them in another video, sort of the look of them without being lit. We're gonna have a video of sort of what this car looks like at night with the lights all lit. We'll do that again soon. Somebody's requested that on YouTube as well. But the headlights, one thing that you may not notice in a lot of videos is what they are is dynamic bending headlights. When you turn the wheel, they can turn and aim down the road with you. So they look really cool when they move. You can see it when you're driving. If you're pulling up to different areas and you're curving the road, you can tell that they're moving a little bit. Gives you a better view around the corner. Really cool thing, high-end thing. We've got videos on it on a Sportage on our YouTube channel, so you can look for that, dynamic bending lights, and how they work. And we'll probably get a video up on the Stinger on that as well in the future. Heads-up display. It's a first for us at our dealership. We don't have any other cars with a heads-up display, but the heads-up display gives you a lot of information. Just speed is there, of course, but things like your smart cruise control. And I should mention, you have smart cruise control in that car. We'll talk about that in a second. Your drive modes. Drive modes, we have an entire video on to talk about the drive modes. So you can change the drive modes in this car. This is a tech feature that's really advanced. A lot of people talk about chipping a car or doing things to change the way the car behaves. This car has 5 drive modes, and it changes a number of things. It changes your steering, your suspension, your throttle mapping, and your shift points. So you can really change the character of the car. You can set it in eco mode, and it'll try to do its best to get the best fuel economy you can. Set it to sport mode, you can have a ton of fun, and there's other modes as well. It always starts in comfort, which is a standard mode. So really cool mode there. The other thing this car has, all-wheel drive with torque vectoring. This is a sports car that you can drive in the winter. The Canadian models at this point are only all-wheel drive, so if you're looking for something that's really, really good in the winter, the all-wheel drive model works really, really, really well. The other thing I talked about, a 360-degree camera. So you can, when you're parking this car, you can see it's got a lower front lip. If you're concerned about hitting that against a curb or something like that, you tap the button as you're pulling towards a parking spot and you can see exactly where the front of the car is. You can see a bird's eye view of the car on top. You can change that settings as well. If you're parking along, let's say you're parallel parking alongside a curb, you can blow up the side view of the car, left side or right side, reverse as well as forward. So again, it doesn't have to have just a backup camera. When you're pulling in, if you want to have your entire screen looking out the front of the car, you can do that. So a lot of great tech there. And the one thing that people don't realize, I've driven a lot of cars, high-end cars, low-end cars. Kia has great backup cameras. There's high-resolution cameras and high-resolution displays. So, you know, if you've driven a backup camera and you're not that impressed with it, try out Kia's backup cameras. They're really, really clear. I've driven an Escalade just the other day. The backup camera isn't anywhere near as nice as in the Stinger. So great backup cameras, but of course in this car, the 360 camera, great resolution, really helps you know where you're going when you're parking. A couple other little things while we're talking about that screen. Surprise to me, Doppler radar. So if you see a storm coming in, you can pop up Doppler radar. You can see it right here on the screen. There's no storm in this picture, but you can take a look at any bad weather coming in. You don't have to wait for the weather report. You can look at the Doppler radar map right in your car. Really cool feature, kind of something to impress your friends with as well. Now we talked about adaptive cruise control. This car does two things really, really well. Adaptive cruise control and lane keeping assist. What that means is this car can kind of drive by itself a little bit. Now I don't want to advertise that as a feature, but it's got some of those features. So when you are driving with adaptive cruise control, I left Toronto the other day. I had to drop somebody off at the airport and I came back all the way to Brantford. It's about an hour's drive and it was traffic the whole way. So of course it was more than an hour. So I set the cruise for slightly above the legal limit, and from Toronto all the way back here through stop and go traffic, I didn't touch the gas or the brake because the car sees the traffic in front of you. It will brake as necessary right down to stopping and continue on from there, and it won't exceed whatever set speed you have. So again, I didn't have to touch the gas or the brake. As people cut in front, it would leave room. You can set that distance for how much room to leave. It works incredible and takes all the stress out of driving in traffic. So if you just want to set the cruise, and if you're the kind of person like me who always turns cruise control off when you go through a city, Adaptive Cruise and Kia's adaptation of Adaptive Cruise is a fantastic system, super easy to use, works really well. And of course, that information is also in your heads-up display. Heads-up display allows you to look out the window. It throws a reflected view of some of your information, like your speed information, into the windshield, so it looks like it's about 30 or 40 feet in front of you. Allows your eyes to not have to change perspective looking down at the dash and out the window. So Adaptive Cruise has that information in the heads-up display. The other thing is lane keeping assist. Now you may think you've heard of this. A lot of people hear about lane departure warning. So that warns you as you're leaving the lane if you leave the lane without signaling. In our cars it beeps if you do that. Of course you can turn it off if you have guests in the car and you don't want the car beeping. You can set that up like that. So you can turn it off. But lane keeping assist is the next step of lane departure warning. So what it does is it'll warn you if you're leaving the lane, but it will also steer your car back into the lane. So really cool feature, works really well. So in some ways, this car can steer itself a little bit, and it can also gas or apply the fuel like a gas and brake with adaptive cruise and lane keeping assist. So a little bit of self-driving type features to help you out. Now, of course, you have to keep control of the car. You have to stay attentive. This car can alert you if you're losing attentiveness. But it's a very cool system, especially when you're driving in traffic or if you're driving when you're a little bit tired or something. Keeping those systems on will keep you alert, keep you safe, and keep everybody else on the road safe. So those are just a few of the tech features on this car. If you have heard of tech features in this car that I didn't mention, that maybe you want to know more about, maybe we'll do a tech video again explaining some future points. So let us know in the comments below. And again, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to have all kinds of video. We've been responding to comments and we know you're interested in the Stinger and any other Kia. Let us know what you want to know. We'll create more videos. So thanks for watching, everybody. And there you go, 2018 Kia Stinger.